Hey everybody, what's up? Kevin here from the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today YouTube channel, and today we're going to be debunking all of the reasons why the mainstream media hates metal, and I'm going to tell you why they're a bunch of crap. So, I'm a huge rock music fan, as you guys have pretty much found out. But that has also taken me more into metal and metal subgenres as well, such as metalcore, grindcore, all that kind of stuff. Now, in the mainstream media and in the public opinion as well, for some reason, metal is seen as a bad thing, whereas more vilified, whereas other genres such as, or more popular genres I should say, such as pop music, hip-hop, rap, and modern-day country are put up on some kind of a pedestal. That kind of gets to me a little bit because metal, for the reasons why they're disliking it, can easily be spun into reasons why they dislike, modern day country, why they dislike hip hop rap, why they dislike pop music, why they dislike, things that are going on in the culture in general. So, I'm looking at the reasons why public opinion dislikes metal and completely debunking them. So, shall we get to it? Let's get on with it. So one of the major reasons why the mainstream media dislikes metal, I'm talking, your Wall Street Journal, your USA Today, your People Magazine, is because they say metal glorifies bad things. One of those major things that they're saying is the sexual exploitation of women. Now, I'm taking a look at where do these negative images come from. Where these negative images come from are the fact that metal is a much more male-dominated genre of music. It's a lot of male bands, a lot of just all-male bands. You're not really seeing many females or female-centric bands out there. And when it comes to the stuff that they kind of do on stage, I've seen some of the stuff, we got females on crosses, I've seen that. I've seen sometime on Bar Rescue where they had a metal concert and they were literally doing like a fake abortion on stage. That was kind of weird, and that does put out a very negative public image. However, when you take a look at what's actually going on within metal, there are female-fronted bands that are rising to the top and rising fast because they are using that female voice to really create a different sound and drive home a different message. Bands like Hailstorm, who's on top of that right now. You got bands like In This Moment and New Year's Day, and you've got bands that are coming up like Butcher Babies, who I have seen play live before. They have two female lead singers, which I was not expecting when I first saw them because I didn't know who they were. But when they came out and performed, I was in the end incredibly impressed because they could play with the guys. They opened up for Hollywood Undead, and they put on a concert that rivaled Hollywood Undead's show. However, Hollywood Undead, of course, always killing it. Now, I had trouble kind of getting into more of those female lead singers. That's just my style. But as more people and as this channel has grown, have been saying, hey, check out this band, check out this band. That's how I found out about New Year's Day, and I've really liked it. They're coming out with a new album soon, and they have a song in there called Shut Up, which is very much all about female empowerment, which is something that, of course, the mainstream media is not going to go after. It's something that they're not going to go after. And even when you take a look at other genres that the mainstream media glorifies, but also kind of do the exact same thing, I'm saying this for parody reasons, take a look at hip-hop and rap. There's a lot of stuff talking about. I mean, Jay-Z came out with a song called Big Pimpin'. I mean, I'm just using the pimpin' word because that kind of puts it into perspective. A lot of rappers try and glorify that. You take a look at their music videos, they do the exact same thing with that. You take a listen at modern day country, I think Bo Burnham's country song, even though yes, he is a comedy performer, I think it hits the nail on the head if you listen to it. Kind of like that, just as hope this southern twang doesn't put off too many rapey vibes. It's fun. Yes, it is funny, but it just creates some parody to that there are bad things in there as well. And let's talk about pop music as well, especially with those pop female lead singers. They are using their sexuality to sell records, basically. Now, again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. But it just creates some parody to where if you're going to vilify metal for something like that, but you're not going to vilify pop music, then come on. That's hypocritical, you guys. You can't do one or the other. So, in the end, it might exist, it might not, but it exists all over the place if you're going to say it exists in metal. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons. And now let's go on to reason number 2 and why metal glorifies bad things. One of the reasons why people say metal glorifies bad things is because metal deals with a lot of death and suicide talk as well. You take a look at it, it sounds like they're glorifying death. Sometimes people say they're satanic worshipers. Sometimes they're saying, oh, they're killing people. Oh, it's a music that'll get people to really want to kill other people. And I just gotta say this, no, it is absolutely not. A lot of the reasons why people like metal is because they talk about stuff like this, because there's a lot of emotion involved in this. Myself personally, if you listen to certain songs that are, metal songs, you don't think that they're about death or suicide, or that they really come from a really, you know, I'm going to put it this way, it come from a very heartfelt place, but they do. And I got 2 great examples for that. One is from Disturbed with their song off of their Indestructible album, Inside the Fire. That is all about David Draymond going through grieving his girlfriend's death by suicide when he was 16 years old and going through the whole entire thing. It's not glorifying it. It's just giving people his perspective on what he went through and giving them an outlet to really connect with it as well if they went through the same thing or if they're contemplating going through the same thing. And it gives people more empowerment, honestly. Secondly, I gotta talk about this one because I absolutely loved this album, Holy Hell by Architects, because Tom Cyril, who was their lead guitarist, died back in, I believe, 2017, and that whole entire album talks about the whole entire grieving process from death. And it doesn't glorify it itself. It literally goes through why the band did what they did and talks about their experiences and what they felt like after losing one of their most important members, if not their most important member. It was a very powerful album when you really listen to it. It was fantastic. But now, if you're going to say metal glorifies death and suicide, I mean, you got to talk about some of the other ones because it's hypocritical to mainstream if they don't talk about other ones. I mean, yes, Linkin Park's One More Light was more poppy than it was metal. I used to bring that in there because it is a song that a lot of people really disliked from a metal perspective because they liked Linkin Park back with Hybrid Theory and Meteora, but it still hit really hard, and that's just kind of creating a parity between the pop and metal, whereas, you know, you can kind of see where it goes. But you can listen to hip-hop and rap. I mean, Tupac and Biggie talked about it a lot. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's really what they went off of. And yeah. So, if you're gonna talk about metal glorifying death and suicide, they don't really do it. They just kind of go through what they're feeling and what they went through, and giving people a connection to it. And that's what a lot of hip hop and rap does. That's what a lot of country does. That's what a lot of pop does as well. So, don't vilify metal for that, guys. Honestly, don't do it. One of the other major reasons that I cannot stand why the mainstream media hates metal is because they think the metal fans, honestly, I've seen this written before. I cannot find the article. I am very sorry. Calling them degenerates. Now, I had to take a look at that, like, where are they coming from? So, had to find out, you know, think about what would be their stereotypical metal fan. And you're thinking, you know, wearing all black, kind of just violent in a little bit of a ways, and they just kind of put them in that stereotype, put them in a box, just so you know they want to just smash things and destroy things. But I gotta debunk that theory hard because I'm part of it. Does it look like I'm that way? Does it look like I fit that stereotype? Hell no. Does it look like anyone else out there fits that stereotype? Hell no, they don't. Because a lot of people that love metal are just your normal, average, everyday people, and I've met so many of those people. They're great people, honestly. They're some of the best people that are around. And yes, we do at concerts for mosh pits. We love to mosh pit with each other. But one thing you can't say is that we're degenerates because yes, we're all smashing each other. But the rule is if someone falls down, you pick them right back up because you don't want to have them get trampled. I was at a Rise Against show and some kid got his glasses knocked off his head and the lenses fell out. Someone yelled stop, the mosh pit stopped, backed up, the kid found his glass, found his lenses, popped them back in, and everyone ran in back again. It was something that is fantastic, and I've never really seen any major problems at a metal show beforehand or a hard rock show. So it's very hard for me to get into this. And parody with that, I've seen things where online where they're talking about hip-hop and rap shows where they're notorious for fighting, for gang violence. And yes, that is a horrible thing to have happen at a show when people are just wanting to watch a show. I've seen fights happen when I've been at music festivals where there are hip-hop and rap artists. It just happens. One of the other things is, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but country music fans can also fit into that category. Perfect example, especially here in Wisconsin, is Kenny Chesney concerts. He's come to Miller Park before, and they won't let him back. Actually, no, they will let him back. They won't let him back at Lambeau, though. So at Miller Park, I have known people that have gone to the concert. People are just smashing bottles in the parking lot, and they tear up the field, and it's just a mess. They had to resod half of Lambeau Field the last time Kenny Chesney played there because the fans ripped it apart. The fans were leaving their cars on the side of the road, on the side of the highways, because they wanted to go see Kenny Chesney, and they're just destroying stuff in the name of partying. I mean, again, if you're gonna give metal flack for what you think it is, and you're not gonna give flack for what you think for what country and hip hop or rap might be, Again, I'm not bashing at these people. I'm not bashing them. I'm just trying to create parody, saying that why the mainstream media hates metal is for reasons is same reason why they could hate you in your genres for those reasons. I'm not bashing you guys. I'm just creating parody. One of the other major reasons why the mainstream media hates metal is because they think that the artists themselves are not good influences on kids. Now, this goes back all the way back to the 1980s with the Parents Music Resource Center, where they came up with this rating system. They want to come up with this rating system, I should say, where they would rate music based off of movies based off of content and explicit language. And they put about 15 songs on their initial list. And there were some, you know, hard rock and metal bands around there. Bands like Twisted Sister was on there, AC/DC, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, they were on there. But then again, I'll go into why some other bands were on there later, or some other, you know, artists were on there later. So it kind of like they kind of put that in motion, and when the government's talking about it, when people like Al Gore's wife are really going off on it, yeah, that's going to get some national attention. And they had congressional hearings as well, where Dee Snider of Twisted Sister went in there and defended the music beautifully, might I add. Another thing that kind of came out about that was the connection between the Columbine shooting and Marilyn Manson's music. Now, we know that that's not necessarily the case, but when the mainstream media puts out that kind of a narrative, yeah, it creates a bad image, essentially, where it's, oh, these bands and the artists are bad influence on kids. One of the other things that they really go off of as well are, you know, kind of that they kind of look weird. They kind of look demonic. They kind of have this weird look that they're Satan worshipers. Even I've heard that before. And if you look at guys like, you know, Marilyn Manson, if you look at the band Avatar, they have that look as well. If you look at Motionless in White and Black Veil Brides, when you look at them, they look kind of scary, actually, but they create great music, and it's really coming from a genuine place. Trying to create some parody on that as well when it comes to explicit content. There's explicit content across all genres, okay? I'm gonna take a look at hip hop and rap as well. They talk hip hop and rap explicitly. I mean, there's a lot of talks about sex, drugs, guns, violence, all that kind of stuff. There is. And you look at pop music as well. There's a lot of talk about sex and drugs as well there. There's a lot of talk about all this stuff. So you can't necessarily single out metal for explicit content as well. When it comes to that Parental Resource Center or whatever thingy from the 1980s, yeah, Prince was on that list too, guys. Prince. So there were some that were on there as well. Along with metal being said that they influence kids to do bad things, you know, hip hop and rap have been connected with that too. So they kind of feel the pain of it. They kind of, or feel, you know, kind of that's the pain. Or they feel the parody too. When it comes to appearance, yeah, there's other appearances too. You know, maybe just because they look like, you know, they're different doesn't mean that it's a bad influence on kids. I'm gonna take a look at other performers that, you know, do the same thing as well. There are sexually explicit performers where they look, you know, they use their sexuality to their advantage and as a selling point, and I'm not going to bash them for that. I just got to bring it up for parodies. Artists like Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, Ariana Grande do it. Adam Levine even did it at the Super Bowl. I mean, there's a huge uproar after he took off his shirt, because I was like, oh my god, he took off his shirt! And I'm just like, okay. Whatever. Just kind of got me weirded out. But then there are also other pop artists that have this very unique look, like those other bands that I mentioned from metal as well, and they've used it to their advantage as well, like Lady Gaga did in the past and Sia has. Now remember, none of these is to bash any of the other genres whatsoever. I'm trying to create parody once again to say, yeah, the mainstream media hates metal for this, but they like other genres for the exact same thing. Come on. Come on, guys. There's got to be some kind of parody here. So one of the last reasons why the mainstream media really hates metal is because to the mainstream media, they think it just sounds like noise and it sounds angry. And I'm just kind of like, that actually kind of is a little bit of the point to sound a little angry. But to say it's just noise is completely out of whack. And the reason behind it, I mean, if you listen to, there's some bands that go really with that those fast-paced songs to really kind of amp up the emotion and amp up that anger to really drive it home. And that's a band like Trivium will do that. When you look a band with that hard instrumentation that'll create that hard sound, you gotta look at Disturbed. If you're looking for a band where it's like, you know, it sounds angry and, you know, with those screaming vocals, man, listen to some Slipknot. Woo! They just, I mean, I'm just using those bands as examples because those are the bands I really know the best that really can do that. And they think, oh, it's just noise. Oh, it's just, you know, it's just anger. Well, not necessarily, because if you look at it from a metal fan's perspective, some of the music styles that have come out that are more popular, yeah, we think of just as noise too. And honestly, I gotta go off of that rapid-paced EDM style. Yeah, I think it's just noise. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's kind of noise. It just sounds like a computer farted, honestly. But that's my opinion. I know it's not other people's opinion because they're playing in bars and clubs all over the place. It's not my opinion that that's good music, but metal's my opinion is good music. If you look at kind of like that hard pace where it sounds angry, yeah, there are diss tracks in every single genre, hip-hop and rap especially. But there are diss tracks everywhere which make that anger sound come out. And, well, it kind of is the parody with metal as well. And they're saying, oh, lyrics can inspire anger and violence. Yeah, they say that about a lot of stuff. Again, hip-hop and rap fits in that category as well. So, in the end, yeah, it may sound that way to you. It doesn't sound that way to us. Your stuff may not sound that way to you, but it may sound that way to us. So, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just trying to create parity between why the mainstream media hates metal, but why it's crap because they love other art genres and other styles for doing the exact same thing. And it's ridiculous. It is. It's ridiculous. So, in the end, after going through all those reasons, I hope I ended up debunking some of these reasons why the mainstream media hates metal and why they're a bunch of crap. Basically because metal means a lot to the people that really listen to it because it is deep. It does have a very intricate pattern at times. There are some times where, you know, there are songs that, oh, they might sound simple, but sometimes less is more. It can work. It worked for the Ramones. They're not metal, but, you know, I'm just saying, it worked for them. So, when it comes to 2019 with metal, I hope you guys, you know, if you're looking at it thinking, you know what, the mainstream media kind of gives metal a bad rap, but it's not necessarily something I like to listen to. Say you like to listen to hip-hop and rap more, say you like to listen to pop music more, or country more, or any other genre, and you just don't like listening to metal or rock because that is just not your style. Totally fine, guys. Totally fine. Mostly because of the fact that, you know, I'm not a big fan of some of the music that you guys like. I do not like country music at all. I just don't. But, I mean, I can see the parallels going through this video where country music and metal kind of can fit in where, you know, they seem this way, and sometimes there is stuff that is one way on metal, but it's also parody in country as well. It just happens. But if you are one of those people that kind of just didn't like metal because the mainstream media says, oh, it's bad for your kids, or oh, it puts out a bad image, or oh, it's just angry, then come on, give it another shot. Give it another shot. If you need suggestions for metal bands to get into and try and get into, I can start you out as well. And I'm just going to start you out with this one because they're legends. Disturbed. That's a great one to start out with. Trust me on that. So again, I hope this is not meant to bash any other genre. I want to make that clear. I'm not bashing the other genres. What I'm going after is trying to create parity between why the mainstream media hates metal, but it also happens in all these other genres too. So, come on! Why can't you just give metal a chance? I can't sing. Alrighty, that's it. Thank you for watching me try and debunk all the reasons why the mainstream media hates metal, and yeah. So, if you like this video, think I did a good job, hit that like button. If you dislike it, oh, hit that dislike button for me. But either or, comment what you think, and let's talk about it. And if you want me to try and, you know, make a new one, maybe, well, I don't know, if you want to, comment, let's talk. If you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? You gotta be, because we put out videos every Wednesday. There's that subscribe button you gotta hit, and that bell icon so you're notified every time we put out a new video. Also, we're all over our social platforms, so if you're on Facebook, you gotta like our page. If you're on Twitter, you gotta like our Twitter page as well, along with our Instagram page. You gotta like that as well. So I got links in the description below for those, so go like those. Also, I've got a podcast. It's called Chord Progression, brought to you by My Song of the Day, Rock 2000 a Day. I talk about a lot of stuff on there, like, you know, music news that's been happening. I talked a lot about that Slipknot stuff that's been going on. Talked a lot about, you know, just kind of concerts we've been going to, and I interview fans of our page as well because, you know, that's always a fun time, and I can create some great stuff there as well. You want to be on there? You know, great. I got links in the description below. Listen to us on Spotify if you're on Spotify, if you're on iTunes, and still trying to get Google Play. So if the link's down there and you like to listen on Google Play, Boom, right down there. And lastly, if you have an Amazon Echo, Amazon Alexa, and you're not enabling the My Song of the Day Rock 2008 Alexa skill, what are you doing? Because we put out a new song of the day there every single day just for you guys. Here's what you do. You click the link in the description below and you enable it on your device. Or you say, hey Alexa, enable the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today Alexa skill. Then you say, hey Alexa, play my song of the day. You'll get a quick 5-second intro from this guy, and then you'll hear the song in its entirety. You want to listen to it again? Just say, hey Alexa, play my song of the day. Boom. She'll play it all over again. And if you don't want to listen, you don't have to say it. And every single day, you're going to get a new song to listen to in its entirety, in its full format. So you're going to start your day off right, middle of the day, end of the day. Whenever you listen to it, it's going to be a good day. So go check that out. Please subscribe to that. Please enable that. It would mean the world to me. And I want to say thank you very much for, if you're watching this video, subscribe to any of this, liking any of this stuff, and following any of it. I want to give you a huge 2 thumbs up, and I want to say thank you very much. It means so much to me. So with that, I'm Kevin. This is the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today YouTube channel. I threw my hat, so I can't throw it again. So I'm going to end my video with a see ya!